got a lot of stuff to talk about. There are a few smaller things I want to briefly talk about before we talk about the big stuff. So let's go. First, I know this is like a little late, like 2.5 weeks late, but Kobe Bryant died in a horrific helicopter crash. I'm not a big fan of basketball, and I don't really know much about Kobe Bryant, but I have a lot of friends that do like basketball. And even if I didn't, I know the impact Kobe Bryant had on sports and entertainment in general. And it is really sad to see him, you know, suffer this fate, And his daughter died in the crash as well, which makes it so much more sad. So rest in peace. My condolences are with his family right now. So as we were just on that topic of sports, kind of, um, another thing that's kind of late. Not too late though. Not it's like a week after the Super Bowl. Um, I look. I'm not the biggest sports person. The most of sports that I'd like watch is wrestling, which I kind of want. I like talking about wrestling on this podcast, even though I did it once. But like, I try to find something to talk about, but I just couldn't. Um, it's really. I can go on a brief tangent about wrestling. It's not in a good spot right now at all. I'm talking specifically WWE. It's just not. You got Vince McMahon. He recently fired. He fucking fired the co-presidents. I forgot their names. I remember their first names. It was Michelle and George. I don't remember the last names, but and their stock dropped a lot. Um, look, as I consider myself more of a casual fan, I'll watch like highlights of Raw and SmackDown and NXT, um, and I'll always watch the pay-per-views. But the thing here is Vince. Like, you, if you're a wrestling fan, you've heard this a lot. But Vince needs to retire. Like, he fired the co-presidents, um, and they would have probably taken his place if he were to die or retire. But who's going to take his place now? Maybe Triple H or Stephanie McMahon. I don't. Probably one of them. But the thing is, he doesn't. He's stuck in the past, and it shows in the ratings and everything. And especially since we're still going with this with the Saudi Arabia shows, which are never good. To be honest, I found last year's Crown Jewel to be decent. No, at the very least, okay. It wasn't like as bad as all the others. But you got you got fucking Ricochet versus Brock Lesnar, which you made up until last Monday. You made Ricochet look like an absolute piece of shit and like just a weakling. Um, And then you have fucking what other matches are there? You got Goldberg and the Fiend, which I mean the Fiend. If you think about it, the Fiend hasn't really fought that many people as champion. Let's see, he's only fought Daniel Bryan. Talking about for the champions, the Miz doesn't count, but Daniel Bryan and that's it. He fought him twice, but that is it. So we have Goldberg, who I'm confident they won't put the belt on Goldberg, but I have a gut feeling that they will, and I don't want them to do that. Look, nothing against the guy, but I don't know. Like, it's just it's repetitive. There needs to be a change to WWE. They gotta. I think they. I think Vince has to step down. I really do. It's the ratings aren't doing so well. So, uh, what do you guys think? So that was my little tangent. I actually don't know where I was going with that, but um, now with the Super Bowl, I'm not the biggest fan of football, but every year I do watch the Super Bowl. Um, I don't know much. I remember hearing about the 49ers before this. Not quite sure about the Chiefs, but it's why I went for the 49ers, and we all know how well that went. Um, Now, it was a good enough game. I got bored eventually that's because I'm not a big fan of, football or the NFL or whatever. But then we get into the halftime show, which was a performance, all right. Um, we got you see. I remember saying this at one point, talking to someone. The halftime show is a bunch of ass. That person just died of laughter. It was okay. But it was. It was a bunch of ass. That's the best way I can sum it up. Um, you got Shakira and J Lo, and J Lo's fucking. I have the image. I feel like this didn't happen, but I have the image of my head of her fucking pole dancing, like doing some shit like that, and Shakira fucking wagging her tongue around. I must say they both look great for their age. About the people that are offended by this halftime show. Am I offended? No, it's fine to me. They put on the show. The NFL. There's an agreement with them and everything. Fuck yeah, I don't know anything about sports. One thing I want to mention is the spots. I think a few days before this, they killed off Mr. Peanut just to bring him back as a baby to capitalize on the baby craze with Baby Groot, Baby Yoda, and Baby Sonic. I mean, it was a cool little commercial, but it was kind of dumb. The best spot to come from that was the Marvel Disney Plus shows. We got our first image, or our first look, rather, at Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then at WandaVision, and then at Loki. To be honest, with Loki, I'm a little. I'm sure it's going to be great, but I'm not quite sure if I'm all too excited about it, because there's so many times where Loki's died, and then they brought him back, so he didn't actually die. So I know in the current time he's dead, but like it's with the timeline with what happened in Endgame with past Loki, he's not dead. It's weird, and I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to get a bit enough of this character. Like it's the fact that if they don't keep killing him off and then bringing him back, that would be that's what I'm trying to get at. But that's it. One more small thing. I review movies on my channel, and I did that with Birds of Prey, which I have a few things to say about how well that did later. But there's a new Disney Plus movie that dropped, and I'm like, oh shit, this dropped recently. It's called not Jimmy, Timmy Failure. Mistakes were made, and as as I was about to watch I was really expecting such a cute, heartwarming, moving movie, and to tell you a pre- rather predictable, but I'm sure convincing lesson about how everyone makes mistakes, and you gotta learn from them. I watched it, and this movie was bad. What the fuck? The fuck? Why are so many bad movies on yeah, there's gonna be bad movies on Disney Plus because every Disney doesn't have all good movies, but I mean the originals on Disney Plus are all bad with the exception of Togo. That I thought that was good, but Lady and the Tramp, Noel, and now this. They're all bad. Why is this bad? It was boring, first of all. Second of all, every fucking character in this movie was either a dumbass or a dick for no reason. There's no reason. Like the teacher in it is fucking like he's old, yeah, but he's a fucking dumbass and an asshole. Fucking the kid's mom's boyfriend is a fucking dumbass. The principal, the principal is probably the smartest character in the movie, other than Timmy. And he's while also not being an asshole. But the thing about Timmy is he just seems like it's I can't take him. I couldn't take anything in it seriously, and there are certain scenes that just didn't go anywhere. But it was it was bad, and I kind of feel I really don't want to say that because there were a couple scenes that hit me, like when Timmy gets his office taken away. He put up his own office. He thinks he's a detective. He puts up his own office and he gets it taken away after getting suspended from school. That and when he has to say goodbye to his polar bear. That's another thing. He just has a fucking pet polar bear. There's no reason that's not explained. He just has a pet polar bear. Like what? And almost immediately after, he has to say goodbye to his polar bear, which kind of did make me feel a little bit when he had to say goodbye. Right after he fucking said goodbye, like a few scenes later, he fucking gets the polar bear back. Like, what do you want any lasting impressions? And then there's like the bad guys of this movie, if you can call them the bad guys. They don't really get their comeuppance. The movie ends with like some girl gives Timmy a cookie with a fucking bomb in it, and like Timmy goes to find that girl and try to give her her comeuppance, and but the movie ends with him searching for the girl. We don't see him finding her, so what the fuck? So I give this movie, Jesus fucking Christ, what do I give this movie? A fucking 5 out of 10. It moved me at like 2 parts. They're all kind of both of them were like in one part though. But it's just why?